Hey, this is Let Her Solo Me, a clone of the guy who has an unhealthy obsession with redheads. I've recently been blessed with the opportunity to play Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN's network test, and it was a blast. Special thanks to Let Me Solo Her himself for giving me a spare code so that I can share this with you all. When I first got in, I was met with a chilling menu screen that made me shake with excitement. Butterflies grew in my stomach, and my hands began to shake with the eagerness of jumping into the unknown of a new Souls game, a high I've been chasing after the longest time. Unfortunately, that was not the feeling I got on the first session. I'm sure I don't have to mention the constant server issues that sprung up, constantly being kicked out anytime I wanted to matchmake.
Oh my god. FromSoft, please. I didn't wake up at 5 a.m. for this.
Not to mention, my PS5 didn't even allow me to record or stream the game at all, so I had to take pictures and record my screen straight from my phone because I never thought to buy a capture card. I greatly apologize for the rather unprofessional review, but this is really all I could do at the time to share my experience. The second session took place a few hours later, and that one was much easier to play, to say the least. Matchmaking worked, and so I decided for my first game I would choose the Guardian for my first time. He's a tanky, Rito-looking class that's tanky, and did I seriously write tanky into my script twice? I felt that was perfect for my first game, because as a tank you can make a lot of mistakes, and I needed that if I was going to learn how to play this game. It's a good thing I did, because not long after raiding a castle, me and this other wilder didn't have an electron in our brain to tell us not to swing our swords around like idiots, and it got us killed. Getting loot was really fun, and so was defeating bosses, who were actually surprisingly difficult. Towards the end of my run, my Rito looked a little something like this, and by the time we hit our day 2 boss, we got destroyed. This is going to be a common theme in my runs, as I was experimenting with everything and learning how to actually play the game. The next game I played as a wilder, and alongside a recluse and another wilder. It was more of the same, but I did some pretty cool stuff, like opening an Everjail and finding a big jar. I defeated some bosses and got pretty active with the Watchdog's greatsword. I mean, seriously, I was pretty nuts with this sword. And that was the end of the first day. I played the first 2 classes, but had no intention of playing the Recluse, as you can probably put together. After the servers went down, I got off that night excited and ready to play again, knowing that tomorrow I would want to try out the Duchess. The next day came, and I rushed to get a capture card so that I could record actual footage. Had I known that recording would be blocked during the network test, I would have ordered one sooner. For my next game, I of course played as the Duchess, a glass cannon type of character that specializes in speed and precision, and I'm not going to lie to you, you're going to need a lot of patience if you want to be good with this character. She doesn't have much health and no poise, so standing still or getting greedy invites death and catastrophe. During my Duchess run, I tried my hardest to lock in, but couldn't. Me personally, I wasn't used to the whole glass cannon concept and therefore couldn't hold my own. Despite this though, I got the furthest with the Duchess, which is surprising to say the least. There was one moment in my run that had me absolutely flabbergasted. As we were looting and exploring, Margit decides to invite himself into our session and proceeds to mop us and embarrass my build. He spouts some nonsense about being a graceless tarnish before dipping out with no context, Skull Knight style.
There is no honor in killing insects.
Game after game would pass, and I'd fight as hard as I could, but could never get to that final boss fight until finally the stars aligned, and I finally got a good hand of weapons and upgrades and took on the final boss of the network test, Gladius. He was tough and fast, he looked so cool and had me smiling the entire fight. There was a few moments in this fight where he'd split off into 3 different versions, which I thought was super cool. He has this really cool sword on his back attached to a chain that he swings around and does massive amounts of damage. After some hardship, my party finally pushed through and defeated him, ending the beta on the second day. I loved Elden Ring NIGHTREIGNS beta, and cannot wait for it to officially come out so I can play all the new expeditions with my friends. I was confused when people were getting upset at this game and thinking it was a cash grab or fall off because of how it is, and I don't think that's true. I feel if you go into this game with the wrong mindset, expecting another Dark Souls or Elden Ring, then yes, it will disappoint. But that's not what NIGHTREIGN is. NIGHTREIGN is for the people who wanted a boss rush mode for Elden Ring, similar to how Sekiro did that boss rush, or simply going back and just defeating bosses for fun. I hope that people who disliked the concept at least give it a try. This small taste alone was addicting and really fun. But other than that, that concludes my experience with NIGHTREIGN. On the last day of the network test, I put up all my recording equipment and just simply enjoyed the game. I hope you all do the same when the game releases, so thanks for watching my video. Take it easy.